Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. Basically what happened is that I just had a lot going on this year. At the beginning of the year and last year I had a lot of markets, and then the last market ended and it was Christmas time. So I'm back, and I wanted to show y'all my jacket that I've been working on making. However, I never got around to finishing it. I'm still sewing on the buttons. And so I have like the first half of that, and then I wanted to do a little bit of a market vlog in here. I mean, I don't show people buying things or anything, but I do show my setup and a couple of like behind the scenes things, just to kind of fill in the video some more since the jacket is not complete yet. And then I also have an extra DIY, which is a little purse made from recycled cat. No, it's in the shape of a cat. It's made from recycled plarn. And then I also just want to make a quick, this isn't even an announcement, but like a quick mention of something. So because of what's going on right now with TikTok and Meta and the TikTok ban, I'm not going to be on or posting to anything Meta for the next week. I'll touch on that at the end of the video, but that is to say that I had to post this one tonight and now so that I can, post my stuff to Facebook and Instagram, where I usually highlight what I'm doing before the Meta ban. It is now 5:49 and I've done no editing, so good luck me. Alright, let's start the actual video. So here's me working on the pattern. I'll do a whole series at some point of how I export these and print them out into tiled patterns too. But for now, this is all you get. It's just a little taste of how I do it. Fun procrastination fact, I got a new phone. I'm not sure if you can see the new quality on this. I'm still trying to figure out the angles in which I want to film, but even just putting this thing into the recorder and starting, it actually went a lot smoother getting this onto the tripod than the old one did, and hopefully the quality is better. So first thing I'm going to do is cut this out. My plan of attack here, if I didn't mention it in the intro, is that I'm going to sew this brightly colored hot pink thread just because this fabric was donated to me and it's lovely, and I'm a little worried about doing this or making it into a cardigan, which is also not the intended use of this fabric, but it wasn't donated to me with any strings attached. It is beautiful, high quality fabric. So I'm going to make this into this. I think the hot pink will just give it an extra little pop, and I don't have to do too much hot pink. All right, procrastinating. Okay, so I have pockets. Oops, sorry, I bumped the tripod. I have pockets here. I know I didn't have that on the original plan, but I'm going to go back and add it to the sewing pattern because I think it'll be cute. And the fabric wasn't big enough, so I added just a little bit of, I added a little panel and a top stitch, and then this two halves the sewed together and put a top stitch in. Hopefully that won't make much of a difference, but now I'm just going to take that 0.75 inches and fold. That's way too much. Okay. The bottom will stay down actually, so the bottom and the side are staying down, but I'm just going to fold the rest of these edges in so that I could give it a top stitch. But first, let me trim. These are going to be holding in place by the stitches anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Except for this edge. I think I'm going to wait on this. And that. So we're folding this in, and I would say do it by the seam allowance indicated on the pattern. I'm going to do it by just a little bit for now. And then I'll measure that and make sure that's on the final sewing pattern. But we're just going to fold this over and press it. It's on high heat because wool is supposed to be 5. Right. Okay, that was weird. I have a new phone, so apparently I did the last video wrong. Sorry about that. Switching from Pixel to Samsung is a little bit complicated. Not as complicated as switching to like iPhone would have been. Anyway, I was just explaining on video that what I did is I lined up this pocket here, and then I went along the outside right here with my trim that I'm going to put all over the vest. And then taking this off, we have a nice outline here. I did go ahead and hem this and this, even though I was supposed to wait because I'm supposed to sew it down here and here. But I feel like that'll be okay. The stitches here aren't very visible. I'll just make sure to have a strong needle and that will be fine. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'm going to decorate this pocket and all the pieces, and I will be back to show y'all what it looks like with all the yarn pinned. 2 down and 6 to go. I have them all pinned up, so I'm just gonna design them all and then sew them. If you heard those paw sounds, that's Jolene. She was closed in the basement with me, and she really wants to go back upstairs, but she can't. Well, that sucked. If you're gonna do this, I suggest don't. Like, maybe paint onto the fabric instead, because it just took forever. I'm so glad I had matching thread, though. I mean, it really didn't, but it felt like it did. And using this and trying to keep all this stuff in place was very hard. It did not want to stay under the needle, so it kept creeping off to the side, and I kept having to switch it back. It does not help that I had to pivot a lot, and my sewing machine stops with the needle up every time. Drove me nuts. Anyway, so now that we have all that done, what we're going to want to do is pin and sew, and we're going to sew from here to here and from here to here as a top stitch onto the fabric. And then we're just going to do a basting stitch along these edges to keep everything together. Now I'm just going to sew the shoulder seams together. Oh, here's what the pockets look like. So far, they are kind of big. If I take this the full inch I'm supposed to, it'll shrink the pocket significantly. So I think I'm going to make this a very small hem instead and just extend how tall this is going to be all the way around. And then I can keep that in mind for the final design. If I had done this all in the software, this wouldn't be an issue, but that's why we do trial runs. Okay, I have some thread sticking out there. That'll drive me nuts. Right, so pockets are done, and I just did a small stay stitch right here just to keep everything in place for when I sew it together. It's supposed to be 0.75 inch seam allowance, however that does not equate to 5/8. I can either make this whole thing bigger by just having 5/8 seam allowance anyway, or I can measure it out. This side seam is going to be a problem if I stick with 5/8 because that eats into the pockets that I should have decided to put in before just now. I might take all the seam allowances down. This would be a size 18 right now. It can be a size 18 but be a little bit oversized. That changes the whole measurements of everything. So I'm going to have to make another one of this pattern where I actually follow my own directions before I can professionally sell them. But for this design, I just think it would be better if I made the seam allowances smaller. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, so now that I've done the shoulder seam, I pinned around the shoulder on the sleeve. It actually ended up matching up perfect, even with all that confusion about 5/8 seam allowance. But there will be the correct seam allowance when it gets to you, so don't worry about that. And yeah, what you want to do is find the center of the sleeve cap. So I folded the sleeve in half and found the center and put a yellow pin there. And then I lined it up to the shoulder seam. And then you line up the bottom of the sleeve and the side seam on both sides. And then pin around to make sure that that's even. There are a few places where I might have to stretch as I go, but it's looking pretty good. And then sew all around this. and you'll be ready to sew the side seams. Okay, so now I have the side seams pinned all the way around the armpit, so I can just do one continuous seam to attach that. And I have the sleeve seam that we just did open and flat, but I am going to push them together this way and do a top stitch. It's just easier and less bulky to have them open and flat at the armpit. So yeah, now I just sew all the way up this, and I think I'm going to stick to my 5/8 again, just because I think I don't want to take up too much of the pattern space, and I also want the sleeve or the pocket to still be there. So yeah, this goes on both sides, and then I'll be able to top stitch this, the arm sleeve, and then it'll be time for the cuffs and the finishing touches. I'm actually not going to give it a top stitch because I think it needs that part of it to be free. It's a little tight for a size 18. I am wearing a bulky jacket right now, and it like barely fits me, and I'm not an 18, so I might have to rethink the size margin I'm doing there. But then again, the thing I'm wearing that I put it over is bulky. I really want to prioritize finishing this, except for maybe the buttons, and making it less itchy. So now we have the cuff, which we have a mirrored pair of. I do realize that the cuffs, they should be facing the opposite way. They're basically just rectangles, it's fine. The cuffs are going to be quite itchy. And also I kind of want to put elastic in them. Anyway, so for the cuffs, just right sides together, fold upward, grab some elastic. I have these folded. I've come to the disappointing realization that there's no way I'm going to have time to soak this in shampoo and conditioner and everything for Sunday. So I'm thinking, if it doesn't sell, it would be great to have at Linden House Market next year. They have a lot of cool funky stuff, so I could see that. And if it doesn't sell, instead of soaking it, I'm just going to make a whole lining for it. Why not? I'll have time. But for now, I have these cuffs. These are just what we've sewn together, and then I folded them in half the other way. And I'm thinking it'll be better to put some elastic in it. That way, this is too big for that. So once it fits and stretches, it'll make a little bit more sense. And in the final pattern, I'll make these a little bit bigger. So in the meantime, I'm just going to sew together the elastic, and then I'll be able to attach the cuff to the jacket. So I'm a little disappointed here because there's no way I can finish this by the day after tomorrow. Just no way. I could just hem it up and pretend like it's okay, but the more I think about it, the more I think this has to have lining, or else it makes my brand look bad to even have it in with my stuff, because it's not complete. I think unfortunately I'm gonna have to leave this here and remake it for a market coming up next year. I have one early next year at an art location in town. I think this would sell very well there anyway. It might be a better audience for there than for here. I'm just pretty bummed that I spent this week working on it when I could have been doing other things, but I have enough of an inventory to where that's okay. Like, I did strategically plan this so that I have an inventory that I can lean on for this week. So, and I didn't really make any big promises about new stuff coming, so I think I will be okay. Unfortunately, that means this video is a little messed up. Not gonna lie, but I think I'll just make this into kind of like a vlog. Show the first half of this, and then show y'all the thing I am going to be able to make by the day after tomorrow, and I'm really excited about that. I know I've moved on to this other project, but I just wanted to show y'all how it looks on the mannequin. And this is very cute. I like it. I just think, you know, definitely in need of lining. And I should have realized that as I was drafting it. You know what? I did, but I was like, I don't want to do that. We'll see how it looks without it. And You know, definitely itchy, but I do love the motif I did there. I just probably wouldn't do it again. This pocket's nice and big. So, I mean, it'll definitely be done. It could be done by Tuesday, to be honest. But I don't have until Tuesday. I have until Sunday. So definitely that's kind of a bummer, but I don't think anybody at this market would really be that interested in this anyway, besides the fact that it's heavy and a coat, and my next market is not coat weather. But I think the style will definitely be more appealing to people at Art Mart. Let's get back to the purse. As for this week, this is what I have so far. This has been a work in progress for like a year. I just kind of put it away and forgot about it. It's a basket purse, kind of like the chicken, which if y'all have been keeping up with the chicken, I can show you it on the screen. It actually got sold last weekend, so super thrilled about that. Hopefully the cat gets sold too. So this is just kind of the box. This is going to be the strap, but she needs to be bigger, longer. And the strap is made up of 9 plastic bag scrap yarns for each tie. I braid it, and then I braid it again. So that should be about 9. So this cat is what I'm looking forward to, and I also need to put in a little sack to go in the middle of the cat so that you can't see the inside, but also, and mostly, so that you don't drop your stuff through the basket of the cat. So let's get started on that. Okay, guys, the audio for this ended up being unusable because of all the indecision here. But basically, this is the design for the little basket. I think you'll see me later make a curve on each side, though you might not. And I'm going to split it on the fold. But also in here, I'm talking about how I'm going to put the pattern for this on my website. That has not happened yet. It will. I have the picture on my phone. I just need to digitize it and all that. And this is an easy thing to digitize, so it will be on my website at some point, along with instructions for how to make plarn and how to wrap the wire and do the thing. But for now, I don't even want to advertise that or make any promises because future plans. But yeah, this is the pattern that I had so far. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of this for later reference later, but I did take it down 1 inch because I'm including seam allowance in all of this. It just makes it easier. For the bottom, last we left, I think it had this line. I just measured downward 1/4 inch and then rounded it out. I think I can get a better round in my software. So by the time it gets to y'all, it'll be good. This could be even shorter, but the drawstring takes like 1 inch. So I think this will be perfect. And if I want to make this perfectly round for the cat purse, I would, but I kind of like the look of it being your regular drawstring. If you want to do that, you just take like a rounded diamond from the center, but you'd have to make this wider. But I think I like it like this. I think that that's simple and fun. And I will be doing that. Oh, it says cut 2. I'm actually going to cut 4. Cut 2. Sorry. Rig 2 line. So for me, that's 4. To plan, that bed sheet was a little bit more filthy than I had anticipated. Like upon closer inspection, it was straight up gross. So I switched to this spare fabric that I had in my stash, and I think it'll just tie this brown in really nicely and go really well. So what I'm going to do now is take a couple of them, this one and this one, and that one and that one, and sew them together. When you're sewing these things together, you want to do it here all the way down and around up here. Don't sew this top part because that is the open and closure, but you're going to do it on both of these. So I'll be back when I do that. Okay, so I turned one inside out and put the one that I wasn't turning inside out inside of the inside out one, and now I'm just folding it over about 1 inch, and I'm going to fold these two over too. This could make it a little bulky. there's definitely a way to do this drawstring if you don't really care about that. I mean, if you do care about that, I would suggest leaving a hole in at the bottom of both pieces and sewing the top pieces together. I don't care about that. I might cut this bottom layer 1/2 inch and then just place this like this and top stitch. And when you top stitch, leave a gap from here to here, like at least a 2-inch gap. That is where you're going to be running your drawstring through. This is how I make plarn. Fold this in half. Oh, and by the way, you can get rid of all this stuff with acetone and scrubbing it. I had mixed results with that, and I kind of like the look of having it on. I can fold it in half, fold in half again, cut the, I almost said sleeves, cut the straps off, fold in half the other way, fold in half the other way again. And I like to cut them in half, but the tutorials I've seen have been thirds, like going here and here. I just find that that's too small, so I like to cut them in half and then go through where they're folded here and cut that in half as well. So it's an extra cut, but it gives you stronger plarn pieces. It's several extra cuts apparently. Okay, and then this one is unusable. All right. So now that we have those, people like to tie them together, but I just want to use them to make this strap longer. So what I'm going to do is untie this. I had it tied just to keep track of where I was. Okay. And then I'm just gonna unbraid this a little to see how far it needs. I don't know why there are 2 left here. Oh, there we go. Okay, I need to unbraid this a lot actually. Get to that one little piece. Okay. So I need to find the little donut hole here. There we go. I'm not sure if y'all can see that. And we're just gonna tie this through the little donut, like this. Don't pull too hard or else you'll get thinner plastic and we don't want that. And you see how I'm sticking to this braids? There are 3 braids. I'm sticking to this strand right here. These other 2 will be fixed in a second. All right, so what you're gonna wanna do now is just continue braiding, but with the braided pieces. So you see here, all these are braided. I'm just gonna keep going. And when you get to the knots, just braid over them. I kind of like the look of it being uneven. I want to do this at night and not record it while I'm working on it. I'm just going to show y'all what I'm going to do. So you see the seam here? I'm just going to tack all around under the seam. I'm going to tack it to the cat purse. And that way the drawstring at the seam will just kind of fold into the cat purse. And I think that will fix the problems I'm having with it falling into the purse, and there'll be a nice way to close it off. So this is how it's looking so far. The only thing that needs finishing now is the straps. Honestly, I showed y'all that earlier, and I was gonna cover it in another layer of baggy, but I think it looks better braided, and I think it'll go over better braided because if I like wrap it like what I've been doing with this, that just gives more places where it could catch on something. And I really don't want that. So I think that and hot gluing this down. Actually, instead of that, I'm just gonna use a little bit of yarn and fix it right now because it's driving me nuts. I think it'll look better like that. But yeah, I am almost done. I'm definitely going to be done by the day after tomorrow because I have not all of, but I have most of tomorrow to work on. I have tonight as well. So I think with tonight, with all the handwork, it should be good to go. All right, so I'm on my way to the market today. I had a little issue last night where I had a bit of an allergy attack, so I think I'm okay now. But I did notice that on their market thing, I didn't have a space with a tent. I just had space for like a table and racks, which, as long as they're okay with me having my racks there as well, which they will be, they're cool about this kind of thing. I actually kind of prefer that. The tent's in the car just in case they're like, no, we really need to put you in a tent if you have all that, but I think it'll be fine. I just don't feel like putting up a tent this week, so that's actually better for me. I did finish the purse. I'll show y'all the purse. And I'm getting to wear my pants, which it's kind of a bummer. I didn't get to make more of those, but I just really wanted to have that sweater thing done by this end of the year market, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. But I do think it will go really well in a market that I have next year. So yeah, that's the vlog until I get to and set up, and I think I won't film setting up just because they didn't give us a time to start unloading our stuff. They just gave us the start of the thing, so I'm not sure what time I'm supposed to be there, and also it takes me forever to unload because most of my clothes go in a bin. But I'll show y'all what my layout looks like when I'm there. Alrighty. Vlog update. It could be worse. There was this one girl who was having an issue because she hadn't read the map right, and her spot was like picnic tables, and she needed to not have picnic tables in her way, so it could be worse. But let me show you how it could. Yeah, thanks Amazon. So my cart finally went kaput, which means unless I make bank today, all my holiday money from this month is going towards a new cart. I could just get knobs and wheels that fit better, and I'll keep the wheel just in case, but this is a constant happening with this cart, so I think it's better to just say goodbye. Okay, so this fair is going very well. So before it sells, cat purse. So that's the video. I will have my new socials link below, or not new, but my non-meta socials linked below. It's mostly just, I think, Bluesky. It's only Bluesky for now. So I'll link that below. If I get any more, I'll add that to the video later. We'll hope for the best where that comes around. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and keep following me and my website that I'll have linked below too. And have a great new year. All right, bye.